Last time on Pole House Blackpot Weekend Getaways, we stopped at Great Plains State Park. We visited what we think was an old gold mine, and we had chocolate chuck wagon cake for dessert.
Well, we're loaded up for another day adventure. We're going to the Wichita Mountain Wildlife Refuge,
And then we're going to someplace called the
the Holy City.
Holy City.
And we found this online as attractions around this part of the Oklahoma. We don't know exactly why somebody would set up something that looks kind of like Jerusalem, but it looked really interesting. So we're going to see what it's all about.
Yep.
And
this is our last full day with our friends Craig and Kathy, so we're hoping it takes us a long time to get through it.
Yep. So, okay, we'll see you along the way.
Wichita Mountains Wildlife Refuge is the oldest continually run wildlife refuge in the United States. Established in 1901, this wildlife refuge is home to many different plants, birds, as well as bison, longhorn cattle, and even black-tailed prairie dogs. We were just down over the hill where that mama cow was. Yeah, it wasn't too far. Probably got their attention though, didn't we? There are several day use areas at Wichita Mountains Wildlife Refuge with 15 miles worth of trails and also rock climbing walls. Yeah, I'd have been in the water. They're not real big, though, are they?
Okay, this is the story of the Holy City. The Holy City of the Wichitas and its annual Easter pageant was founded by the Reverend Anthony Mark Wallach. Upon viewing the granite outcrops of the Wichitas, complemented by the evergreen trees tucked throughout, the Reverend through the landscape thought the landscape resembled the hills and mountains of Judea. He became inspired by this envisionment of the New Jerusalem. This New Jerusalem was built out of the native stone and is located in the natural amphitheater at the foot of Mount Roosevelt. The pageant was born in 1926 in Medicine Park. In 1933, 160 acres of government land was set aside for the site of the Holy City. Each year, thousands of people come to the Holy City of the Wichitas to witness the dramatization of the life of Jesus Christ in his last days.
Now it's lunch at the Old Plantation Restaurant. We really enjoyed this place.
Made it back to camp after a fun day with Craig and Kathy. We started out going over through the
Wildlife Preserve.
The
What's the name of that?
Wichita Mountains Wildlife Refuge is where we started out.
And we went to the Holy City.
Holy City, yep. Did a little exploring there.
That was kind of different.
Really a fun, interesting
beautiful
adventure.
Chapel. Absolutely beautiful
Yes,
chapel.
it was.
And then we went and ate at an old plantation house.
Yep.
It used to be a brothel and a motel or an inn.
An inn, and now it's just the restaurant. And it's really a neat old building, built in the early 1900s, and had some of the best chicken fried steak that I've had in a long time.
It was big. He couldn't eat it all.
It was really good stuff. Well, back to camp, just kind of relaxing, late afternoon. Sit down and rest a little bit and
go to sleep, which is what I did.
Yeah, she took a little nap, but we're going to get up now and get ready to start supper. And one of Craig's favorite foods, he's smiling over there, is pizza. So we're going to make us some Dutch oven pizza tonight. And
deep dish.
Yeah, deep dish deep dish pizza. We're going to have Italian sausage and some hamburger and different stuff in it. So we'll give you a little demo on how we made it here in a minute. All right, we ground some hamburger up, and then we added some homemade Italian sausage. So all that's kind of pre-cooked and warmed up. Now we're going to add some store-bought pizza sauce. We won't use the whole jar. We're just kind of add enough to get it where it's fair amount saucy, but not too. You don't like it too so saucy that the pizza, as you eat the pizza, the sauce oozes out the other end of it. So get that mixed in. All right. looks like that's going to be enough. Now we'll go on to the next step. Okay, now got to get the pizza crust going. We just bought a pre-mixed bag, powdered like a Jiffy Crust mix, and mixed it up. Okay, now, by the way, I just washed my hands, so now all we got to do now is just lightly pat this out. I might need to have Angel here in a second. I'll see if it stays oily enough. If not, I can have Angel get me just a little bit more oil and I'll put some on my fingers. So, try not to poke any holes in the bottom of it. Get it spread out. And it's going to be, like Angel said earlier, it's going to be a fairly deep dish pizza. So I'm going to try to get it best we can pushed up a little bit on the sides of the Dutch oven. So we go around. Alright, just about got it. Gotta get it fairly thin. It's hard to get it thin enough almost on the sides, so without getting it too thin in the bottom. Alright, there we go. Now, almost ready for the filling. Okay. We'll be right back and we'll go with the rest next step.
Okay.
Alright. Bring over our meat mixture. And we'll basically, whoops, we're going to spill the whole thing here in a minute. We're just going to basically add that right into our crust. Then we're going to come right back and put a nice layer of pepperoni on top of that. Alright. Give it a nice even spread out. Alright, there's our hamburger and Italian sausage mixture. Now, open up a pepperoni. If I can get it open here. That was childproof. It's already up. Okay. And we'll get our pepperoni out and just put one nice even layer on top. This is a nice meat lover's pizza. Alright, there's our pepperoni on top. Now, wipe my hands off a little bit here. And last but not least, of course, we're going to need our cheese. And in this case, we're using some mozzarella. You can use whatever cheese you like. You know, want a little more pizza cheese or a different combination of a white and a yellow cheese, that'd be fine. But tonight we're using all mozzarella. And of course, you got a meaty pizza, you got to have a cheesy pizza. So this is a 4-cup bag, so we're going to use about half of it. Still make it pretty nice and cheesy. A little bit more. Spread it out on top. Just like that. Almost to the edge. And there it is. Ready to go over. Check out our coals and see if we're ready to cook. Alright. Looks like our charcoal is getting nice and gray, so I think it's ready to dump out and get this pizza started. Okay. We're using our 12-inch Dutch oven, of course. And we want a fairly hot oven. We're going to need about 425, probably 450 degrees. So I'm actually using 38 pieces of charcoal. So we'll get the extra ash out of there. Now we're going to put coals around the bottom, outside only, because if you put some in the center, that cast iron, as it heats up, as heat naturally draws in, and no matter how much you rotate your oven and try to move it around, you're going to have a hot spot in the center. You're going to burn the center of your crust or whatever you're doing. So, going to burn this side, like I said, just under the outside edge is all we need. Now, as you can finish here, the charcoal on top, you can see there's a lot on top. And pizza is one of those things to really get it done and hot and brown and crispy on top, especially, takes a lot of charcoal to get that oven really hot. And we put a full solid ring around the outside, and we put about 8 in the middle. We end up with about 11 on the bottom to get that heat going there, but you still get plenty of heat on there to get the bottom crust done. So we're going to set the timer for 10 minutes and come back, and just like with any other thing we bake, we're going to rotate it. Okay, now here's a good tip. We're out here and the wind's blowing pretty good. You've probably seen it in some of our footage we've already done. And with that heat blowing underneath that Dutch oven and across it, it distributes heat weird, kills your coals so they burn up too fast. They burn hotter for a short while, but then they die quicker. So we're going to grab our trusty wind guard, put it around. Wind's kind of coming from this angle across, and that should hopefully block most of that wind, because I tell you, wind is probably one of our worst enemies, other than probably rain, of trying to get something cooked out when you cook it outside in the great outdoors in your Dutch oven. So first 10 minutes are done. So it's like we normally do with baking. We'll get the Dutch oven up, rotate it a third of a turn in one direction, then after rotate the lid third of a turn in the opposite direction. That should hopefully give us a good even cook time through the whole cooking process, and nice even brown top. Alright, it's been a total of 30 minutes. Let's take the lid off and see how it's cooking. Oh, it's done. Hope it didn't get too done, but I think we better get her out of the Dutch oven and get her eating.
Crash. In the middle of the afternoon.
It's good pizza.
That about does it for this weekend getaway to Oklahoma, our vacation. Our last full night with Craig and Kathy as we enjoy the campfire. If you like this video and would like to see more, please like, subscribe, and share. We would love to also hear from you, so leave a comment or two. Next time, we start out with a nice breakfast of cornmeal mush. We'll show you how to make it. If you've never had cornmeal mush, you've really got to try it.
Fried cornmeal mush. Nice and crispy and brown, ready.
On our way to Pahuska, Oklahoma, we visited some Route 66 sites.